What's going on, y'all? So we up in here to talk about how the 49ers will attack the Dallas Cowboys offensively, right? You see, one thing, right? This will probably be one of our greatest tests as far as dealing with the weapons that they have, in the backfield and on the outside, in that tight end, right? They have a few, but the one thing that we are is we are equipped to deal with it. Good thing that we invested in all the safeties that we invested in, right? Good thing that we invested in Micah Parsons, right? So the matchup game will be interesting, right? And one of the first things we were here to talk about is Deebo Samuel, right? See, as you see right here, him getting the ball and running in the backfield, that's something that ended our season last year, if y'all remember, right? And they will do the same thing this year. See, it's playoff time. They're going to allow it all to go. And one thing, they want to go ahead and keep and put these defenders, put our defenders in space. But that's one thing that we are pretty good at, right? But, however, right, one thing that we have had issue with this season was setting the edges. Our linebackers getting pinned inside, right? That has been an issue. And as you can see in this play, was an issue for Seattle. And you can bet that they will try to run the same exact play against us. And you better bet that we better be ready for it and play physical, or this can happen, or a lot more. Right? So Deebo Samuel is definitely a weapon that you must be aware of, right? But to me, he's more of a run after the catch type of guy. He's more of a get him in space, I'm a run physical type of guy, make you miss type of guy, but one thing's for sure, as a wide receiver, I'll be honest with you, he's not feared, right? So you would want to go ahead and use him in like a Percy Harvin type of role, right? And that's kind of what they do with him, right? Throw it to him quick, throw him in breaking routes, hand it to him in the backfield, just get him in space, allow that speed to go ahead and go. Because he's a talented player, don't get me wrong. But as far as him lining up at wide receiver full game, he don't want that smoke, y'all. Yeah, but we want the smoke, and we want the smoke regardless, man. So y'all go ahead, we got to be ready for this. Here's another example of him being in space, right? What the Niners want to do to him, kind of try to outflank us because they know that we coming hard with Lawrence Tank Fowler and company. So what do you want to do? Go ahead and try to outflank us and get on the edges, man, and see if our corners can tackle, right? So we definitely got to be disciplined. Our eye discipline definitely has to be on point this game. Everybody has to be physical, including Trayvon Diggs. Everybody has to be physical and going against. Everybody has to do their job, contain every 11 hats to the ball, right? Because if not, you're gonna allow big plays that should be minimum to no gain, right? See something like this, boom, that should be gone right there. Anything extra is just nah. That's just not gonna happen. That's just not gonna cut it, right? Because McCaffrey, Kittle, Deebo, right? They all run after the catch type of guys, right? And if you can go ahead and get them, right? Even if they do catch the ball, just tackle them right there, right? You got to go ahead and cut out all them extra yards. You can allow them to go ahead and do what they do best, which is make plays after the catch. So this would be something that we definitely going to have to go ahead and be wary of. Even though Brock Purdy has been a blessing for the Niners, he's still a rookie, and he will make rookie mistakes such as this, right? See, one thing for sure is we got good coverage linebackers, right? And one thing Leighton like to do, Leighton go ahead and drop, he'll sit, and boom, that's Leighton right there. But the cool thing about what Leighton is getting that one. Leighton gonna time that one. Leighton looking at this play right now. Leighton is ready for it. Because when Leighton see it, boom, Leighton taking that pick, and that's going to the house. I can bet you that, right? Leighton gonna have another big game, man. You see, one thing that I've seen when it come down to Purdy is, he gonna overthrow some things. He gonna go ahead and make some rookie mistakes, right? You got to make him pay for that. And Seattle didn't make him pay for that. There was a couple throws, man, where like, man. See right here, you got to take points off the board, right? The opportunity to go ahead and stop him and take points off, you got to do that. You got to take advantage of the opportunities because you never know when it's going to come again, right? So I definitely like our chances of turning the ball, turning them over a lot more. See, one thing for sure, Purdy is going to extend the play, and that's going to go ahead and leave us the opportunities to get even more sacks than what Tom Brady allowed for us, because Tom Brady wanted to get the ball out quick. But with Purdy, he'll hold the ball. And if we can't get to him while he's holding the ball, then something wrong, y'all. That's all I'm going to say. All right. They running backs now. They running backs also want to get in space. McCaffrey, man, you know, that was a pickup for them, man. You know, McCaffrey can do it all, right? He can go ahead and run out the back. He can run, and, you know, you can use him as a wide receiver, right? One thing that I would like for us to do is match up Michael Parsons on him some, right? I know we want Michael Parsons going forward, though, but hey, this game, Dan Quinn going to have to be at his best. We're going to have to go ahead and play some chess this game, right? Because one thing over there on the other side, even though Kyle Shanahan is a choke artist, he's a good offensive coordinator, and he's a creative play caller. So one thing, Dan Quinn, he should be real familiar with him, right? Because he won choke for Dan Quinn, right? You know what I mean? They should be familiar with all of them, right? But one thing I've seen is there's been some evolution in what Dan Quinn has done, and I would like to see that evolution this game, right? Because on the defensive side, hey, it's Dan Quinn, right? Dan Quinn going to have to be a mastermind and call the plays at the right time, right? Yeah, your playmaker's going to have to play plays, but he's going to have to call the plays at the right time. And one thing we've seen with Seattle on this play is, why are we getting hooked in, right? We cannot allow for that to happen, right? We can't allow to be, we got to be able to move. And one thing that I like about our D tackles is they squeeze down. They move and they don't stay on blocks, man. And the D tackles have been a strength, you know, for this team, right? It's been a real strength, right? We've been stout up the middle. Believe it or not, we've been pretty good up the middle all year, maybe except maybe one game, maybe that last Philly game. Hey, it's been flawless, including the Tampa Bay game, right? So I need the D-line, man, to really be gap sound and to really not allow these guys to get on. See, we can't allow the linebackers to get cracked. We got to be, you know, we got to be wary of that, right? D-end's going to have to set that edge, man. Oh, my gosh. If we can keep Christian McCaffrey between these tackles, we good. We good, right? We don't want them in space, because if you get them in space and, you know, your linebackers is getting touched, well, you're going to allow runs such as this. And these are runs that hurt. Here's another example of McCaffrey. Hey, both of their running backs can catch the ball out the backfield and downfield, just like our running backs, right? Just think about our running backs and just think of them. You know, they just talented, right? They got just as much talent, right? And hey, they're going to find this hole. Hey, you can't allow this right here. We got to go ahead and not can't allow them extra yards. Boom. If say for instance, he does catch it, we got to tackle him right then and there. We got to be flying all over the field. And look, Damon Clark, Michael Parsons, and Leighton going to be key. Anthony Barr, hey, he going to have a good coverage game. Hey, I might even consider Cox, right? Because we got to match their explosiveness with their explosiveness, right? Marquise Bell, we might have to activate a couple of these safeties, y'all. You know, Israel, we're going to have to play matchups, right? If we're going to man them, we're going to have to do something that's not traditional, right? You might have to put a cover guy, you know, like a little Michael Parsons, a safety on Christian McCaffrey sometimes to kind of keep an eye on them, right? You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to play. That's going to be the chess game that you got to play in order to go ahead and do what we need to do, which is win this game, right? This team is beatable, right? Very beatable, right? But the offense, it gives you problems. It gives you a little stress, though. But one thing we can do is we can handle it, though. And, hey, offense going to have to give us a little bit of help. That's cool. But offense is very capable and will do just that, right? So let's go ahead and be ready, y'all. We got to watch out for the misdirection plays. They're going to run a lot of these. They're going to run some naked boots. And they got a lot of action off of their misdirection, right? Right? They'll either do it in running form. They'll do it and have Debo most likely come on an in-breaking route, a crossing route, you know, mess around. Brock Purdy or mess around. He got the option to scramble. They have a few variations off of their misdirection that we got to be disciplined when it come down to our eyes, you know, from our back end, you know, including the linebackers, right? We have to be very disciplined with our eyes, right? hey, you might have to, the cornerbacks, the safeties, they're gonna have to maybe cover maybe for the extra good second and a half, man. And hey, our D line is up to the D line to come out and rush like, like we some mad men and get there, right? And affect them. Because once we see one thing for sure in this offense, penetration, it affects them, right? If you go ahead and get in that backfield and penetrate and knock what they got going on and knock their side to side action down, oh, you can disrupt them. There's a whole bunch of negative plays that can happen, right, regarding this team. But you got to penetrate, right? You got to shoot the gaps, right? One thing I noticed that when Seattle shot the gaps, instead of going here trying to two gap and keep the linebackers clean, when they go ahead and they D linemen allowed to go ahead and win after it, they cause some ruckus. They cause some havoc in that backfield. So we should keep that in mind as well. Keep that in mind. When Purdy scrambles, when he's trying to get out of dodge, I noticed that he likes to go to the left a lot of the times, and then he'll go ahead and try to plant just like that. I noticed that he did that quite a few times in this Seattle game, right? So I will be wary of that and, pick up on them tendencies, right? It's just always left. I've rarely seen him get out of trouble and go right, So that'll be something to keep in mind on because, hey, say for instance, if Micah come and he come in the inside, he come hard. Well, guess what? You have this opportunity, and we got to hope, man, the cornerbacks and the safeties, the back end is on their job, man, or that could be a big play. So containment is going to be key, not only for the run game, but also for this quarterback as well. We want this quarterback to throw the ball. We want this quarterback to throw the ball in the pocket. Let's get this quarterback to throw the ball about 40 times. Let's get him to throw the ball 40 times, and let's tee off on him, right? We have the opportunity, man. We don't want him comfortable in the pocket, right? We want him because see, one thing that I've noticed is you see as this, he's comfortable, right? He'll give you some opportunities, right? Even if he's sitting in the pocket, right? It's just that the clock in it, it's just that he just ain't been playing for that long, right? So he's still learning on the job, right? However, we got to touch him up. We got to touch him up. You touch him up, make him uncomfortable, then he gonna get erratic, and there's gonna be a lot of plays that come our way, right? So that's pretty much it, y'all, right? Just going ahead and understanding, right, that, hey, let's contain these weapons. Let's contain the quarterback. Let's contain the running back. Let's contain Kittle. Let's contain Debo, right? Ayuk, right? See, Ayuk is an opportunist, right? Ayuk can mess around, hey, you sleep on him, he'll all of a sudden they going on a 9 route and Ayuk done beat you for a TD, right? He's an opportunist, right? He ain't nothing that I would worry about, right? Debo is just mainly, hey, in space, we don't want you in space. Kittle, tackle him as soon as he catch the ball, if he does catch the ball. Don't let him go ahead and impose his physical style on you, right? McCaffrey, keep him contained. If you want to run in between them tackles with Osa and Big Hank, so be it. You feel me? That's what we want. We just don't want him we just don't want this offense to outflank us. We don't want that our discipline to not be there when it come to our eyes. But anywho, y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all for joining me, and we up out of here.